The exact date when humans first began mining gold is unknown. However, the oldest gold artifacts found in the Varna necropolis in Bulgaria date back to between 4700 and 4200 BC, indicating that gold mining is at least 6,200 years old. It's believed that either gold mining started with the Varna people or that older artifacts were lost to time. By 2500 BC, gold mining had spread to ancient Sumer and Egypt. The Sumerians and Egyptians developed various tools and techniques to extract gold, such as sluice boxes, grinding mills, and mallets. Gold quickly became a valuable currency, and the Babylonians discovered methods to test its purity. Various ancient civilizations found ways to manipulate gold, making it a universal trade medium, though most mining was done by slaves. During the ancient Roman Empire, gold mining expanded significantly, with the Romans stripping lands of their gold and leaving vast landscapes altered. After the fall of the Roman Empire, gold mining declined in England during the Dark Ages but continued elsewhere, albeit with reduced demand due to diminished trade. As Europe transitioned into the medieval period and Renaissance, gold regained its importance. Europeans brought gold mining to the New World, significantly boosting production. While some indigenous peoples in Mexico and Central America had mined gold, European activities marked a dramatic increase in extraction. Canada itself has experienced notable gold rushes, particularly the Klondike Gold Rush. Nova Scotia has had 3 gold rushes, and British Columbia has had 2. Gold mining is now one of Canada's most profitable mining industries.
Today, there are 1,352 active gold mines worldwide, with 93 of them located in Canada. As of now, 212,582 tons of gold have been mined from the earth. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, USGS, a total of 244,000 tons of gold has been located, although it is unclear if this statistic is worldwide. Canada has experienced over 30 gold rushes in its documented history and remains a leading figure in gold mining. As of 2023, Canada ranked 4th in gold production globally. Over the past 200 years, gold mining has evolved significantly. During the 1800s, it was primarily done by individuals known as prospectors. By the mid to late 1900s, large corporations had taken over most of the gold mining operations. While shovels and buckets were used for mining in the 1800s, today's operations employ large equipment like dump trucks and excavators to move vast quantities of gold-rich soil. Although gold panning still exists, it has become more of a hobby than a viable means of striking it rich.
The process of gold mining produces the most waste compared to the mining of other metals. The gold found in a single ring generates 20 tons of waste when mined. Open pit mining produces 8 to 10 times more waste than underground mining. This waste, known as tailings, contains a mixture of heavy metals such as lead, arsenic, cadmium, nickel, copper, zinc, and cobalt. Due to the high concentration of sulfides, these tailings are highly acidic. In Nova Scotia, historical mines did not have to go through the process of reclamation, leaving tailings abandoned with no management or containment. Today, tailings are causing huge problems nationwide.
Historically, First Nation people received no consultation prior to mining. Their traditional land was forcibly taken and tragically altered by open-pit mining, which left large craters and toxic materials that often ended up contaminating clean drinking water. Unlike today, where reclamation is legally required, companies back then could abandon huge pits and tailing piles without management or repercussions. Arsenic, a byproduct of gold mining, is highly toxic when ingested. When tailings leach into the water supply, people can become sick or even die from arsenic poisoning. It is recommended that soil for gardening contains a maximum of 20 milligrams of arsenic per kilogram of soil. Beyond that, arsenic can cause severe damage when ingested through planted food. In Yellowknife, the giant mine closed over 2 decades ago, but soil tests still show arsenic levels ranging from 11 to 7,680 milligrams per kilogram, with an average of 177. Mines in Nova Scotia, mined in the early 1900s, have arsenic levels exceeding 200,000 milligrams per kilogram of soil. An example is the Goldenville mine. In the 1970s, a man in Nova Scotia was hospitalized due to chronic arsenic poisoning. An official interim report revealed that the water from his well contained arsenic concentrations far exceeded Canadian drinking water standards, caused by tailings left behind by closed mines. Arsenic is not the only harmful byproduct of mining. Each byproduct brings its own environmental issues. When tailing enter rivers and lakes, ecosystems are destroyed, and entire species of aquatic life can be wiped out. Tailing dam failures exacerbate this destruction. Gold mining has some severe downsides, impacting both the environment and human health.
Gold mining is horrible for the environment. There is no way to sugarcoat that. However, according to the Historic Gold Mines Advisory Committee, risk assessments show that people have a low chance of exposure. The committee did note, though, that because the concentration of heavy metals in the soil is 50 times the recommended amount, the closer one lives to the mine site and tailing pond, the significantly higher chance there is for exposure. Safety protocols have significantly ramped up since the early days of Canadian gold mining, so we are seeing less and less of a risk. While there may be a cause for concern for a lack of following the rules and regulation, exposure shouldn't be a major concern unless you live near a historic abandoned mine. Now that sickness is no longer a key issue, government across Canada are looking to protect the environment while still extracting the minerals. Now, companies have to prove to the government that they have a plan for reclamation prior to the building of a mine, which is a step in the right direction.
In 2022, Canada's gold exports were valued at $22.3 billion. During that year, Canada exported 297 tons of gold, roughly equivalent to the weight of 66,000 iPhone 15 Pro Max units. In the same year, Canada mined 204 tons of gold. One of the most significant benefits of gold mining is its contribution to the economy. The industry provides jobs for millions of people worldwide, from miners to engineers to logistics personnel. Additionally, gold mining generates revenue for governments through taxes and royalties, which can result in lower taxes for ordinary citizens. In some regions, such as Africa, gold mining companies have contributed to community health by organizing outreach days where residents receive medicine and free treatment for diseases like malaria. However, not all companies engage in such initiatives. Gold is essential in nearly every technology that includes a circuit board, such as phones, cars, and printers. Even some COVID-19 tests contain a small amount of gold. All that goes to say that whether we like it or not, gold is needed for our daily lives, and it is financially in our best interest to continue mining it, despite the dwindling supply.
So what is the final verdict? Now that all the cards are on the table, where should we go from here? In the grand scheme of things, gold mining is a relatively recent phenomenon, but it has rapidly transformed the world. For over 6,200 years, gold mining has ramped up, now causing environmental disasters globally. While regulations are improving in places like Canada and the US, gold mining remains one of the most polluting and destructive mining processes. So why should gold mining continue despite its detrimental effects? Governments are tightening regulations and prioritizing people's lives over economic benefits. In Canada, companies are now legally required to complete reclamation processes to restore land to a usable state. While heavy metals used to leach into water supplies, companies today must be much more careful with their tailings. Though there is always a risk of dam failure, such incidents are far less common. Environmental issues, while still present, are less severe today than they were 30 years ago. As gold mining becomes less polluting, it becomes a more viable means of economic benefit. Gold is integral to our daily lives, powering nearly every electronic device. If all gold mines were forced to shut down, we would face a technological crisis within a decade as old tech dies. Gold mining, while controversial, has its benefits. It is crucial for technology and the economy, even though, as a non-renewable resource, it will eventually run out. Thus, while we should continue to mine gold, it is imperative to do so responsibly, with a focus on minimizing environmental impact and ensuring sustainable practices.
What do I think? I believe that gold mining itself is not sustainable. According to the US Geological Survey, USGS, there are roughly 36,000 tons of gold left to be mined, and at current trends, we may have only a few decades before it's all extracted. In that time, I advocate for reducing our reliance on gold in technology. Gold recycling should dominate the gold market to conserve resources for future generations.
However, for the time being, as we work on developing alternatives to gold in tech, if $20 billion can be made annually from gold mining, I support it. It would be devastating if regular citizens had to compensate for the economic loss if gold mining were prohibited in Canada. Despite the environmental strain that mining creates, we are improving our efforts to preserve nature as it was before the mining began. This progress weakens the argument that gold mining should stop altogether.
We all know that gold mining won't last forever, but until we find a viable alternative, gold mines should continue operating in Canada and around the world. The benefits, both economic and technological, are too significant to overlook, and with stricter regulations, we can mitigate the environmental impacts.